Now, speaking of games we're excited for in 2024, right? Um, I wanted to do a little fighting game year in review for this year. Or the previous year. We're in 2024. Happy 2024. Happy New Year, everyone, who I didn't get to say it to 2 days ago. Holy crap. We're already 2 days into the new year and I'm going through it. But I'm also making more content again, which is good. We actually had a good few fighting game releases last year. Surprisingly. I don't expect every year to be a big year or a good year for fighting games, but I think we had some real bangers. I think we had some real bangers. There was a stinker or two in there. But there was a good few solid fighting games that came out this year. And there was also a lot of expansions for fighting games, right? And like rollback for older games, DLC of various kinds, including the rebirth of DNF Duel with like 3 new characters already. What the fuck? So I kind of just want to go over it, right? From the top to the bottom, out of order, because I don't remember order. I don't fucking remember the order. Won't lie to you. So, if I remember earliest in the year, the first thing that happened was the release of Brawler and DNF Duel. Like, DNF Duel got its first DLC character of the DLC pass, and it was Brawler. Which, he's pretty cool. He's like the fucking barrel guy who is basically a bruised up grappler. He's grappler, but without the grappling, which is really cool. And I think, a lot of people liked that archetype, the bruiser archetype, the mids dispenser, as it were, and they didn't really have one outside of Striker, who was, you know, a little nerfed. Well, no, first character was Spectre? Thanks. First character was Spectre. See, I didn't even remember that. So we've already had 3 new characters? Or 4? Right, and those were this year. Spectre, or last year, 2023. Spectre, Brawler, and Battle Mage. There might be one more coming, right? Yeah, that's awesome. That's sick, right? That game took a long time to get its DLC, but it got some. And that was really healthy for it. We also had the release of Street Fighter 6. Right? The premier return to form for Street Fighter. One of the biggest franchises when it comes to video games, like just in general, on the fucking planet. Amazing sales numbers. Super sick, good reception at the beginning of its launch. Probably one of the best launch versions of a Street Fighter game. Maybe one of the best launch versions of a fighting game in just ever, in general. Really good single player content, including all the standard arcade stuff, the party game modes that exist now, which is really cool. Extreme Battle, Online Battle Hub, arcade cabinets you can go and play, right? Don't forget about the fact that there's also a Battle Hub in general, ranked match. And the ranked match, for the most part, was significantly better than Street Fighter V's on launch, and had good netcode. A pretty nice, well-rounded roster, even though kind of small. And World Tour mode. That's a lot of shit. There was a lot of shit. For your $60, I think you got a lot of stuff. Right? It took a long time for them to make skins and to start rolling out DLC characters, so that's kind of a big blunder, but I don't think that Street Fighter 6 has stepped out of the spotlight since it's launched, right? People still think about like, oh, when's the next big Street Fighter tournament? When's the next Street Fighter Online tournament for like a Capcom Cup placing? When's Capcom? Right? These are all things people are still asking about and very excited and hyped for. Not even 2 or 3 months later, Mortal Kombat 1! Mortal Kombat 1. Though it had some issues on release when it came to balance and working netcode and working lobbies and crossplay, the game is out and has super zany, wacky story mode akin to every other NRS game, and it has another single-player mode in Invasions, right? So 2 single-player modes that you get to experience, and then the core gameplay of Mortal Kombat in a assist-styled fighter. First for the series. This is the first time they've ever done anything assist type. I believe they've had like a tag fighter, or maybe they had one character that was explicitly a tag character in an old Mortal Kombat game. I think it was Noob Smoke and like Mortal Kombat Deception. So we get to see like the rebirth of that in this game, but with assists, right? A lot of people like that mix up cover me aspect back and forth with the cameo characters. And not only are there new DLC characters already out, there's also new DLC cameos already out, right? Right out of the gate, that game had a plan for its DLC. It had a plan for its future content, including fixing the netcode, fixing bugs, fixing the Switch port, and adding crossplay. Crossplay should be coming, I believe, in February. That's what they say. They say it's coming in February of 2024, so that's something Mortal Kombat players who have bought the game, or even haven't, because they were waiting for crossplay, have to look forward to, which is really good, right? Earlier, I missed one. I missed a smaller release. I didn't mention it. Pocket Bravery. First, 3 days of the game, there was 8 patches to fix bugs, fix balance issues, and fix the netcode. I think if they had let the game cook for another 2 weeks, the beta that was, at least, the online demo / online beta, if they had let it cook for 2 more weeks, I think they could have had a phenomenal little package on their hands that would have kept people entertained and playing, even now. Right? The player numbers for Pocket Bravery are relatively low, but the game is really charming, it's really fun, and it's cool. It's a nice little $20 fighting game distraction from your main fighting games. I don't know if it'll ever become anyone's main fighting game, because of just the lack of support. It is now getting DLC rolled out. The first character is coming out later in 2024. His name's going to be Rick. They have a full 4 or 5 character battle pass or character pass already in the works, which is really good. I think that's pretty tight. And the game has a really cool system, unlike any other in the fighting game space right now, right? There's 2 meter systems, kind of like Guilty Gear, but one is an elemental meter you only use for EX moves, and one is your super meter, which you can also use for canceling your elemental moves into more elemental moves, right? So you have Roman cancels / EX special cancels. So you have special cancels and super cancels off your special. It's got a lot of stuff going on. And I think the game is really cool. It's super charming. And if you haven't heard of Pocket Bravery, or you have and you haven't played it, it's only $20. I think you should totally give it a shot. Maybe try to get a few friends to pick it up too and just dick around with it with your friends, you know? The online community is small, but they're dedicated. There's a good few players that are still playing the game today. Now, we also have a platform fighter to discuss that I think, I'm gonna be real, kind of flop. I feel, and this is why I say we had some bangers, but we had some stinkers. One of the stinkers, I think the main stinker, the biggest stinker, is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, right? They did a lot of good changes to the game. They added better netcode. There's the one-sided rollbacks are significantly less frequent. They added voice acting, tons of new characters, revamped balancing, which is really nice, new stages, a single-player mode that is really cool for platform fighters, right? I think for more casual-based games like platform fighters, generally you want some sort of single-player mode to get people into trying your game and wanting to play your game. But for some reason, it just didn't seem like a lot of people wanted to pick it up or were interested in it. It didn't really seem like it was one of the big standouts when it came to platform fighters. It didn't seem like it was meant to be at the top. 2023 was the darkest year in fighting games. They killed Rumbleverse. I guess it is kind of a battle arena. It's like a battle royale arena fighter, sure. Yeah, it's like a mix. I admit it. They tried to come out with that really crappy My Hero Ultra Fumble, and people were like, "Is this the next Rumbleverse?" I'm like, "No, it's not. This is not like Rumbleverse at all. For the love of God, please shut up. Shut the fuck up." There is no next Rumbleverse. No game will ever be as cool as Rumbleverse. But I don't want to dwell on a game that could come back, might not come back, is unfortunately in the past. I want to talk about another game of the future. A game that came out last month. I think it came out in December. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising did so much good. I personally won't be playing it. I won't be picking it up. I'm not really a big fan of anime fighters. It's not really a character for me. Vasaraga looks cool. Anila looks cool. But I don't see myself playing it enough to buy it, to pick it up, to spend the $50, $60 on it, and then keep up with DLC. That is a big problem with liking a lot of fighting games, liking multiple fighting games, is picking up all the DLC, especially if you're a TO and help run tournaments. So, I watch my friends play it. They have a blast. The game looks really cool. It's got a lot of interesting and unique systems, especially new systems like the bravery points. They've already have a DLC plan mapped out, and there's even cool game modes, right? There's the main mode. There is like a single player RPG styled mode, and then there's also Granbrews, which is like a Fall Guys-esque mode. And that Fall Guys-esque mode and the basic online ranked matchmaking both exist in a free-to-play demo version where there's a rotating cast of characters plus Gran. right? So you have Grand plus a rotating character every week or every 2 weeks. And you can technically play on the free-to-play mode forever if you're a Grand player. But if you're like a player of any other character, probably not the best idea. You probably just buy the game, use it for a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, find out if you really like the game, really like the character that rotated in the character. You're like, oh, I was waiting for this character that's in so I could try them. So I think that's really cool. It's a nice stepping stone. It's a great way to be able to try the game without putting money down immediately. But I do think that a lot of people, including myself, were a little sad about the system, right? We really wanted just a way that you could start off free and stay free and just buy the characters you want, right? I think so many people would buy their like 2 or 3 characters like $4 or $5 a pop. And then like they wouldn't buy any other characters. They might buy skins, they might buy like lobby avatars, things like that. It would be another revenue source, another way for them to make money. They didn't go for it, but it is a nice step in the right direction, right? A lot of these games just have like demos, like Street Fighter 6 had a demo, Tekken 8 just recently had a demo. Had like 2 or 4 characters, not too many. Not a rotating roster of characters that you can also play online with the existing player base with. That's huge. That's really cool. And I think that's all the bigger new releases, right? But there were some other things that happened throughout the year, right? We got the KOF 13 global match. So we got a new version of KOF 13 only on PlayStation that has rollback, but it's only on PlayStation. And unfortunately, for some reason, KOF ranked matchmaking just dies in like a day. I don't understand. But for those people who really love the old KOF games, that's really cool that now there's a way to play KOF 13 with good netcode. That's really cool. Unfortunately, I have to do it on console, but still, alas, regardless, really cool. I believe Samurai Showdown also got its official rollback as well in 2023. What else am I missing? I feel like something else major happened. And I can't think of it off the top of my head. If there was any other cool fighting game stuff, DBFZ got its rollback. No, it didn't. It got a rollback beta. They ain't got their rollback yet, fam. Still ain't got their rollback yet. We still don't have any more Project L news, even though they told us they'd be talking to us again before the end of the year, and they didn't. I was waiting. I was like, maybe August, maybe December 31st, they'll give us some news. Maybe there'll be something on the Riot Games page. They announced rollback over 2 years ago. It's been 2 years. Anyways, if there is anything else you guys can think about that was cool fighting game news, cool fighting game features, new games, even if they're indie, that you want to spotlight, that you want to talk about, leave them down in the comments section down below, right? The Murphites, the Diesel Legacies that are going to be coming out soon, even though it's not technically out, it had its playtest. Leave them in the comments down below. Like the video. Share the video with a friend. Maybe a friend will also put their favorite cool fighting game thing that happened last year in 2023 down below in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'm really close to 500 subscribers. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish talking about the 2023 fighting game year in review, signing out and saying peace.